A lot of you know about the sutta where there was a monk that was trying too hard, and the Buddha came along and said, it's like a stringed instrument. If you stretch it too hard, the sound isn't right. If you don't stretch it hard enough, the sound isn't right. It's only when you get it in between, too hard and too soft, that it sounds like it's supposed to. And that's what you have to learn with your energy. If you use too much energy, your mind is going to get restless. If you don't use enough energy, you've probably found out today that you get a little bit sleepy. So, one of the things with the meditation is learning that balance of using your energy. When you try too hard, or you have an idea that you want to accomplish something with the meditation. I want to have a sitting like I did last time. That desire will make you try too hard. The thing that you really want to, the mind that you want to develop for this meditation is whatever comes, it's okay. It doesn't matter whether it meets my expectation or not. If it doesn't meet your idea of what you want to happen, you try harder and the meditation gets much worse. If you don't take enough interest in your object of meditation and sincerely wishing your spiritual friend happiness, then you're going to dull out. So it's walking that fine line in between those two states. And when I was practicing in Burma, I was always told that you have to try harder. You have to do it more. And as a result, the practice was not what I would call a tranquil, easy practice to do. I had one meditation teacher that told me there are 50,000 seconds in a 16-hour period. I never multiplied it out to see if that was true or not. That's just what he said. And he said, you should note 50,000 times. Well, you can't say that to Westerners because we try to do that. Asians are more kicked back. They're more loose with that sort of thing. So they try to get them to pick up their energy. So they say that for them, but they don't realize that there is a difference between Westerners and Easterners. We, coming from the West, have a tendency to be very goal-oriented, which means you put too much energy in, you put too much effort in. You try to control. You try to make things be the way you want them to be, and when you don't, you suffer. And you have a lot of pain because it's not happening the way I want it to happen. Now, remember, last night I told you there's one sentence that has 3 things in it that you never hear at any other retreat. Smile, have fun, and laugh. Those are 3 things that you very seldom see in other meditation retreats. You never hear of that sort of thing. But when you smile, it improves your mindfulness. When you have fun in doing it, your interest is high. That means that you stay in balance, but you're real interested in how it works. When you were at school and you had a class that you really liked, you had fun with that class. As a result, you got good grades for it. It's the same thing as here. Have fun with this practice. Don't take it so seriously and try to make things happen the way you want them to. Doesn't work. I promise you it doesn't work. And when you laugh with yourself for getting caught by a hindrance, you're no longer caught by that hindrance. You're not taking the hindrance personally when you laugh with yourself. And it's just a little chuckle. It's not a belly laugh. But when you laugh, what it does is it changes your perspective. It changes your idea from this is here and I don't like it and I don't want it to, oh, it's only this. I can let that go easy. So when you laugh with yourself, what you're doing is you're going from a personal view. I am this thought. I am this desire. I am this person. To, well, it's only this stuff that's there. It's only this. And that is an impersonal view. And the more you get into the impersonal view with everything that arises, I don't care if it's a pain in your knee or a painful thought, I don't care what it is an attachment. This is the cause of distractions that pull you away from your object of meditation. So the whole point of the meditation is to see how mind's attention moves from one thing to another and see this all as part of an impersonal process. And it is a process. One of the things that when I was in Asia, a lot of Asians, they think that their mind works differently than a Westerner's mind. But our minds work exactly the same way. Exactly. There is no difference in human beings. Everybody's mind works in the same way. A feeling arises, pleasant or painful. Craving arises. I like it or I don't like it. Then you have all of your concepts, opinions, ideas, attachments to all of the thoughts about that. And then you get into your habitual tendency, your emotional reaction. And I call it reaction because it's the same kind of action you do every time this kind of thing happens. So when you see that a feeling arises and then there's this little tightness, if you can catch it right then and relax, use the 6 R's. Your mind becomes clear. Your mind becomes bright. Your mind becomes pure. Why? Because you've let go of the craving. Now you bring that pure mind back to something wholesome. And that's what the smile is for. Re-smile. Smile in your mind, smile with your face. Oops. It's okay. The more you can remember that this is not just about the first 3 parts of the 6 R's. It's about doing all of the 6 R's. You recognize when there's a distraction. You let the distraction be. You don't get involved in trying to control it. You don't keep your attention on it until it goes away. Why? Because you're feeding it. And that means it will keep coming back, and it gets stronger and stronger. And relax. If you just release, relax, release, relax, release, relax. I have a lot of people that come to me and they tell me it doesn't work. I can't make it go away. Well, of course you can't. It's not yours to control anyway. So why are you trying to make it be something that you want it to be? It doesn't make sense. Did you ask that thought to arise? No, I haven't been sad for a long time. I might as well be sad now. Is anybody going to do that to themselves? No, when the conditions are right for these different things to arise, and your mindfulness is not very sharp, you will get distracted. But you use the 6 R's, and it gets easier and easier to recognize where your attachment is, and you can kind of chuckle along with it if you want. You relax into that, your mind is pure. Your mind is bright. And this is the difference between the word recognize and cognize. Recognize means, yeah, I've seen it before and I'm doing it again. Cognize means you're in the present moment and you observe what's in the present moment, and then you make the decision to come back to your object of meditation. After you smile, you bring up something wholesome. So the more you can remember to do that, the easier your practice will become. I read an account of a meditation teacher that went on a self-retreat for 6 or 7 months. And they wrote about it, and they started talking about, for the first 4 months, I really suffered a lot. I had all of these distractions. I had all of this stuff piling up on me. And that says something about his practice, and he's not doing something right. 4 months of having distraction? If you have it more than one day, I'm going to ask you, what are you doing? Why are you trying to control it? Back away. It's only this thought. Doesn't matter that it's there or not. Doesn't matter even if it pulls your attention to it. Let it be there. Relax. Smile. Come back. So the whole thing is, when you get caught up in thinking about and not paying attention too closely to what's happening, you are going to have distractions arise. And you have to know how to take care of them. Now, you were talking yesterday about I'm doing loving kindness and my mind gets confused and I go back to the breath. The breath is a distraction now. So, you 6R that. And 6R means coming back to your object of meditation. Well, but my attention goes back to the breath. Okay, do it again. And the first thing you have to do is make up your mind that you're going to let the attachment to the breath go. Okay, I'm doing this meditation now. I'm not gonna want this other thing to arise. Because if you want it, it will arise because of your attachment to it. And who wants it? And what is that? That is craving. And the whole point of the meditation is to learn how to let go of the craving. So you can cognize what is happening in the present moment as it changes. So, all distractions, I don't care whether you call them hindrances or not, all distractions basically come down to the same thing. They pull your attention away from your object of meditation. Now you start thinking this and thinking that, and you're starting to think that this is important or it's not important, or I'm sleepy, or I'm bored, or I've heard this before, I don't need to hear it again. Who doesn't like that? Who wants it to be different than it actually is? I do. Now, this is subtle stuff. The thing with craving is it's not particularly strong, but it is particularly persistent. And it's going to come up all the time if you don't see it and let it be by relaxing, coming back to your object of meditation. So the whole thing with unwise attention, what does wisdom mean? What does being wise mean? Being wise means seeing how the links of dependent origination actually do work. And it is a process. It's nothing personal about it. A feeling arises. Did you ask that feeling to come up? Did you ask it to be pleasant or painful? No, it's just a feeling. And it arises because your mindfulness isn't as sharp as it could be. So, the way you sharpen your mindfulness is by using the 6 R's and smiling all the rest of the day. It's not an easy practice to smile all the time. But the more you smile, the better your mindfulness becomes, the easier it is to recognize when your mind starts to get heavy, and all of a sudden you have these hindrance there. And then you need to use the 6 R's to get back on track and stay with your object of meditation. Now, you can't grab onto your object of meditation too tightly. You can't force something to be different than it is, but you can just let it be there without keeping your attention on it. See, that's a mistake that this meditation person, that was a mistake that he was making. He was trying to control. And the more he tried to control, the more he put energy into it, the worse the hindrance became, because he kept feeding it over and over and over again. And he never saw the true nature of it. It's just thoughts, it's just feelings, and it's okay for it to be there. It has to be okay when a distraction arises because it's there. That's the truth. That's the Dhamma of the present moment. Anytime you try to fight with the truth, anytime you try to control the truth, anytime you try to make the truth be anything other than it is, that is the cause of suffering. Well, I don't like this thought. I don't like this feeling. So, who doesn't? Who wants to control it? Who wants to make it different? Who is causing themselves suffering? And there's nobody out here, there's nobody around you that is causing your suffering. You cause the suffering to yourself by the reaction. Every time this kind of thought comes up, I don't like it. Frustration, anxiety, fear, whatever it happens to be. I don't like it. I want it to be different. And then you have all of these thoughts about the story, why you don't like it, and all of a sudden you're jumping into your emotional reaction. A lot of people right now are suffering from depression. What is depression? Painful feeling arises. I don't like that. Now you take it as yours personally, and you have all of these thoughts about why you don't like it. And then your emotional response. Well, whenever I get depressed, I go into my room and close all the windows and make it dark, and I'll be over it in 2 or 3 days. Well, is that what the Buddha called immediately effective? But that's the way most people are. See, the whole thing is we have 5 aggregates. And that's on one of the sheets that we gave you yesterday. We have 5 aggregates. We have a body. We have feeling. Not emotional feeling, just feeling. We have perception. Perception is the part of your mind that makes concepts arise. Every thought that you have is a concept. What's a concept? This is a chair. Where's the chair? Is it the back? Is it the seat? Is it the legs? Where's the chair? Concepts are made up of a lot of tiny little things put together to give us the concept of chair. Then you have thoughts, the sankharas, and consciousness. Now, what happens when a painful feeling arises? The painful feeling is not only in your mind, but it's also in your body at the same time. And then you have the concept of what it is. And then you get caught in the habitual tendency of trying to control your thoughts or your feelings with your thoughts. And the more you try to do that, the more you try to think it, think the feeling, the more painful it becomes. And the bigger it becomes, till finally you can't stand it and you have to have some kind of relief. Well, when you're sitting in meditation and a sensation arises in your body, well, it's painful. I don't like that. Or it's an itch or whatever it happens to be. It doesn't matter. It pulls your attention to it. The first thing you do is start to think about it. I hate this pain in my knee when it arises. I wish it would stop. I don't want to be bothered with it right now. I'm meditating. At that time, you're not meditating. You're getting caught in clinging. And then your habitual tendency of trying to think the feeling and try to control the feeling with your thoughts. But thoughts are one thing and feelings are something else. And the two never meet. So, the first thing you do when a pain arises in your body is notice that you're thinking about it and let go of that thought and relax. Now you'll notice that there's a tight mental fist wrapped around that feeling. And that is aversion. I don't like it. I don't want it there. But again, the truth is it's there. And the tighter you try to squeeze around that feeling, the bigger and more intense it's going to become until it turns into an emergency and then you have to move. But the instructions in the meditation is you can move as much as he does. In other words, no, don't move. Well, it's only an itch. So what do? The truth is, when a pain is there, it's there. And it's okay for it to be there because that's the truth. You have to allow the truth to be there by itself. Don't fight with the truth. It's okay for that pain to be there. It doesn't matter whether it's emotional or physical. You let it be. All of the Buddha's teaching is about doing this with your mind. Opening up and relaxing. Opening up and relaxing. Letting go of the attachments to whatever it happens to be. Let it be there by itself. Then you smile and come back to your object of meditation. Stay with your object of meditation as long as you can. But the nature of these kind of sensations when they arise is that they don't go away right away. Well, I 6R'd it and it didn't go away, so I moved. No. 6R it again. It doesn't matter how many times your mind gets distracted by that. It will either go away or your mind will have balance, so it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. And again, if you get up in meditation and that pain doesn't go away, I don't want you to sit that way anymore. Sit so that you're comfortable. A meditation pain, it goes away in 5 or 10 seconds. Real pain doesn't go away. So sit in a way that works for you. If you want to sit on the floor one time, sit on the floor one time. Then you feel like sitting in a chair, then sit in a chair.